Hello everyone, this is Grace. It is April the 14th, 2022, and we are continuing our study on when is a day in the Bible. When does the day begin in the Bible? So, I mentioned before in the previous study that they had words to identify what was to identify a government ordained day versus the biblical ordained day, which was from evening until morning. And then, of course, the government ordained day, for us, it would be midnight to midnight, but it would vary. So, we're going to take a look in the New Testament word for evening, the phrase that they use for evening. And by the way, I noticed that in some cases it varies from book to book. Like Matthew would consistently use one phrase, and then John, he would use one phrase, he would use another. Luke, he would use, it wasn't really consistent, but you can usually, once you know that there is a difference, you can usually make it out what they're saying. But if you would see it from book to book, it always means the same thing. They're consistent in that way. So let's look at the phrase for the evening. John 20, verse 19. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. Just to set this up a little bit, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, and she saw that Jesus was not there. And so she spoke with Jesus, and Jesus sent her to tell the apostles and the disciples that he had risen. And so Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and that he had spoken these things unto her. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week. So they're telling you here, it's the same day. So you can tell easily that this is talking about that night. Being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for the fear of the Jews. We're not going to read that again. We'll continue on. Then, now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. This is saying that the evening had fully come in. This is saying that the next day had come in, because the evening could be the afternoon, it could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, depending upon how your government had ordained the morning, evening, and night. So this is saying the evening had fully come. Let's read the verse before. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the evening had come, he sat down with the 12. And they did eat, and he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. So you'll have to see these two words together. The even has come, in order to know it's the next day. Let's read this. And when Jesus was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of the fever. And he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them. And when the evening was come, they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils, and he cast out the spirits with his word, and healed all that were sick. Now, why did they go through the trouble to point out that the even had fully come? Well, let's go back here. So this is the same story. And they went into Capernaum, and straightway on the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. And forthwith, when they were come out of the synagogue, he entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and anon they tell him of her, and anon they tell him of her. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto them. And at even, when the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased, and them that were possessed with devils, and all the city was gathered together at the door. So you can see that the evening had fully come. The reason why they point out to you that the Sabbath was completed and the evening had fully come, meaning the next day, is because of, in a later book, they're going to show Jesus healing on the Sabbath. And they watched him, this is the Pharisees, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day that they might accuse him. They had taught the people that it was wrong to be healed on the Sabbath. So rather than come on the Sabbath, they made long lines to where he was after the sun had went down on the Sabbath. And you can see Jesus here is healing in the open on the Sabbath in order to teach the people that it's okay to heal on the Sabbath. Okay, and when the evening was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in a rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now, the next day that followed, the day of preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees came together unto Pilate. Now, the next day, I had two scriptures in here about the day of preparation. I should have read them first. Let's look at those real quick, and then we'll come back and read that verse again. Here we are. This is about the day of preparation. And the Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the bodies should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for the Sabbath day was an high day, besought that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Now, I want to point out something to you here that conflicts with what we've been told. We're told that the day of preparation is the day before the Sabbath, that you prepare everything and do what you need to do so that you can rest on the Sabbath. There's no indication of that here. They're saying that he would have been left on the cross if it was just a Sabbath day. They said, this says, the Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day. It's the preparation day that is the reason, and it's repeated down here. There laid they Jesus, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day, for the sepulchre was nigh at hand. But it was evening. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross. So what's the preparation day? Well, it's the Passover. Let's go back to Exodus. Exodus 12. Oh, it's Genesis. Hold on. Okay. Well, I think it says, here we go. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off. They were preparing for the feast of unleavened bread after the Passover. That's what they were doing. That's the preparation. that they were making. So because it was the preparation, the body should not remain on the cross on the Sabbath day. Otherwise, they wouldn't have minded. For that Sabbath day was an high day. It was a Passover Sabbath. Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken, that they might be taken away. So now let's go back so we can have the context of it. It's not a big deal, but it's still nice to have the context. So now, the next day, this next day is saying the following morning. It was the evening, so the following morning would be the same day of the Passover, succeeding. Okay, so now the next day that followed, the day of preparation. So the Passover would have been that night, the day of preparation, and then that following morning, still on the 15th, the chief priests and the Pharisees came together unto Pilate. So this is why they have so many different words too. Here it says the next day. The previous verse said the day following. It's just written differently. When even was fully come. Okay, I don't want to go too far back. Let's just go forward here. And I actually wrote in a couple of more ways that they write it out. And it came to pass on the next day. So this could be anything here. It will be a succeeding day, but successive, and then day here. Just sometime during the next day. That is gentle day. And then here in Acts, next. Supervening, that is, being expressed, implied, the ensuing day or night, the following the next. But whenever you see this, is talking about the connecting day, unless it tells you it's connecting to something other than the evening. It'll specify. And the Jews, therefore, because it was... Okay, hold on. We read that already. Okay, so let's look at the Passover. Now, upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, we already know it was night, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. So Mary Magdalene, the ladies went to the sepulchre. They saw that Jesus wasn't there, and then they found Jesus. They spoke with him, and then they went and told the disciples. Then arose Peter and ran unto the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which was come to pass. And behold, two of them went the same day to the village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 80 furlongs. Yea, and certain women... Hold on. Let's go back. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, well, he spoke with them and he recounted the events with them and explained to them the scriptures. And let's read here. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And besides all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre. That would be Mary. And when they found not the body, they came saying that they also seen a vision of angels, which said he was alive. So Jesus recounts the events with them, but and beginning at Moses and all the prophets, and expounded unto them into all the scriptures all the things concerning himself. And they drew nigh unto the village whither they went, and he made as though he would have gone further. But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. And it came to pass, as he sat at meat with them, he took bread, and blessed it, and breaking gave to them. And their eyes were open, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. So that was the same evening. Now when Jesus was risen early, hold on, because we missed something here, because he has to appear to the disciples. Oh, I didn't put it in here. Surely I did. Well, he appears to the disciples. Maybe this. Now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. I can't believe I didn't put it in here. It says that he appeared to the disciples the same day. Here we are. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst and said unto them, Peace be unto you. So still at evening. So he went to see Mary first. Mary saw him first, and it's going to tell you this here. Now when Jesus was risen early in the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had cast 7 devils. And she went and told them that had been with him, and they mourned and wept. And they, when they had heard that he was alive and had been seen of her, believed not. After that he appeared in another form unto 2 of them, and they walked and went into the country. And they went and told it unto the residue, neither believed they them. Because the 2, after he disappeared, they ran back to the apostles and told them they had seen him. And afterwards they appeared unto the 11, all on the same day. At even. But when you look at even here, we just said it, so I know you remember. If you look at even here, because it doesn't have, when the even had come to a full, it doesn't mean that it's the next day. It's saying that even drew near. That's why I went through the trouble of showing you the different ways that they were saying it. because depending upon the way that they use the word, even can mean even is drawing near, or even can mean even is a new day. So, and we saw quite a few examples, so I think it should be clear. It's just, you just have to break it down to see what they're saying. Here it's clear. It says the same day at even, being the first day of the week, then the doors were shut and the disciples were assembled there, and the Jews came, well, etc., etc. But anyway, okay, I think that's everything. Let's see. We did evening, we did morning, we did both Passovers. We're done. That's my video. And yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you in the next video.